Viewers, welcome to SATV Talk Show Promised in Bangladesh. Today our guest is Mr. A.Mannan, Minister for Planning Affairs, Government of the People's Republic of Bangladesh. Mr. Mannan, how are you?
Thank you very much. Very kind of you. I'm fine.
Well, we'll discuss so many things because you are a very important person in the cabinet, but you speak very, very high all the time. And you are the only person so far I know that who does not care anything looking at the interest of the nations. And from this point of view, our humble asking to you, how do you view the visa policy just declared by Mr. Antony, Secretary of State of America?
Thank you. I've read about it in the newspapers. I have no access to their internal documents. Of course, it's necessary also. Generally, one has to see it as their internal policy document. Every country have their policies. We have our visa policies also, like the United States has. Of course, they are a bigger country. They have a global responsibility. They think they have to be everywhere. So in that light, all their policies will be different from ours. What is important to realize here is that it's an internal matter for any country, number one. Number two, even now, even before this policy was declared, everyone who went to the US embassy did not get the visa. Some people came back without the visa, which means they have a very clear stand on these matters. Latest addition is that they have tried to tag it with the local political situations. I have my opinion about that. I don't want to talk in details. What is necessary to say that we should see it as another US way of, well, should see it positively, that their views should be heard, that is what they want, and whatever clout they have in this matter, they would like to utilize that. Their declared goal of seeing that elections must be fair and proper, which is our goal also. There is no clash there. Americans want free and fair elections. We want free and fair elections. Our people want free and fair elections.
And do you think that this very policy shall have immediate impact on the opposition political parties in Bangladesh?
Well, I cannot speak for the opposition. But I see that, you see, look at the language. Only matter, not trade, not human rights, not other rights, no governance. Only matter this policy addresses is elections. There is a perception in some quarters that elections are not fully fair and proper and not well executed in Bangladesh. There is perception. I don't agree with that. However, I don't want to contest that. From their point of view, they have information of their own. So they have a global responsibility, they say. We respect that opinion also. So in that light, from their point of view, the power they have in their hand, they cannot pick up a citizen of Bangladesh for doing something wrong. It is our job, not theirs. What they can do is say, okay, fine, you are doing wrong, we think, we will not let you come into our country if you want to come. That's the only way. They are doing it already. They are not giving visa to every Bangladeshi who go to their doors every morning. Many Bangladeshis come back from the gates of the US embassy, turn back. Visa is rejected, not given. So what is the difference? More or less same thing.
But there is also a provision, Mr. Lu, while talking to Channel I, he passed a comment that if there is any restriction on anybody believed to be responsible for or complicit in undermining democratic process election in Bangladesh, if he faces any visa restrictions and his family members, I mean the spouse and the children, will suffer. So, what the logic behind it?
Yeah, that's a very fine legal point. I am not a lawman. I did not study law. People who are in this business of law, they can explain. If I have done something wrong, I have done it. I am complicit. Should my son or my wife or my parents be punished? Now, beyond that, I don't want to say. But this is not a law. This is a policy statement. So, policy statement is sort of related to the current situation only. If you go to the US courts of law and challenge it, On this ground, I don't think this can sustain. It's my opinion, although I'm not a lawyer.
Well, thank you very much. And you know very well that Bangladesh is now a hotbed for geopolitics. And what is your understanding about the geopolitics now going on in Bangladesh? How do you view this? Geopolitics, I mean the politics of China,
Okay,
India,
fine.
America.
We are perceived to be a rising people out of poverty into middle income. We have more role to play in the global politics, particularly in the regional politics than before, 20 years before, 15 years before. So in that light, major powers who all have their agenda, United States, China, Russia, three major powers I want to name here, they all have their definite goals. So in that, what do? We go seek friends, try to sell our ideas, try to convince others that I am right, come with me, help me. So this alliance making, alliance breaking is a continuous process in the world. We have to cope with that. We shall follow our own interests. What is good for Bangladesh? We must hold it close to our chest, to our heart. And whatever you do with any country in the world, be it United States, China, Russia, these three countries, last point is our own national interest. Good for the people of Bangladesh, which protects our sovereignty, which respects our sovereignty, which allows us to perform in the global market situation, do business, and make economic changes in our situations. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, it is only through economic development that we can ensure a better future for all our people. That is the goal of our being separate from Pakistan through the glorious war of 1971. We achieved territorial independence, we want now economic independence, economic self-sufficiency, economic self-reliance. So in that light, we will follow our own interest in every possible case. We may make a mistake, there may be sometime we are wrong-footed somewhere, but that can happen with anybody.
What is your analysis about India-Bangladesh relations at this very moment?
I think it's on a very fine level. It has a long history. For anyone in power in Dhaka or in Delhi, we have thousands of years of history behind us. That is above our head all the time. Apart from that, Bangladesh is typically different from other areas. On the eastern side of the subcontinent, Indian subcontinent, we are a visible, we are a considerable entity. Bengalis have a long history. Although we were colonized, even then we are known. You read the old ancient books, Bengal is mentioned very well. Bay of Bengal is mentioned very well, which means thousands of years before, or hundreds of years before, our people were quite important. So in that light, we have a special role in this subcontinent. I think Delhi realizes very well. That's number one. Number two, our new rising economic power. We are cloth makers to the world. We have very good export potential, very high export potential. We are working on that. So it is in India's interest to see that the eastern side, particularly these 7, 8 states beyond us, where there are some problems at this moment in Mizoram, I think.
At this
Assam,
very moment, Manipur.
Meghalaya, Manipur, Mizoram, Nagaland, Arunachal. These are the countries who are next to us, beyond us. If they want to reach them, they have to reach over our head or over our head on the other side, on the ground. So strategically, there is a huge number of people. We have about 180, 70, 80 million. So they just cannot shoo us away, get out of our way. They can't do that. Nobody can. Economically, numerically, strategically, territorially, we are in a very, very strong position. Our Bay of Bengal, so all the waterways, if you want to reach your eastern parts, you have to come to Chittagong. There is no other way. So it is, I'm not saying in a selfish point of view, what I'm saying that is good for India, good for us. We should be friendly. And what is the point? You should always be friendly with your neighbors.
What about China?
China is a world power now. China is a great Asian power. We are Asian people. As Asians, we have very close bond with the Chinese people historically. So when China is making strides, becoming stronger economically, politically, in other ways, we feel happy. We feel glad, because what happens? Asian continent reaches higher levels. When Asia reaches higher levels, we reach higher levels. And Chinese technology gain, in modern technologies is something very impressive. We can learn from them. And Chinese have been very friendly with us, although initially there were problems in 97. I don't want to go into details, you know it. But of late, we have been very friendly, and President Xi Jinping visited our country. We have the highest amount of trade between our two countries. Our number one, the Padma Bridge, the biggest construction of Bangladesh, was done with our money and Chinese technology. Chinese labor, our labor. Chinese technology principally and our money. And this job has been done. So this will continue to grow. The tunnel in Chittagong, Konopoli Tunnel, Chinese have built it with their technology. So it's increasing, more and more areas are coming into view. And in the case of manufacturing industries, there are certain areas at a lower level which the Chinese are now leaving. They're moving on a higher level. Those we can occupy immediately. It has happened with other countries in the past also. So it's a sort of very friendly, very profitable relationship between China and us.
Well, we'll go for a short break and come to you again. Viewers, we are going for a short break and come to you again very soon. Thank you. We are back again to Promising Bangladesh, sponsored by Crown Cement. And we are having talks with Mr. A.Mannan, Minister for Planning, Government of the People of Bangladesh. Mr. Mannan, we are having talks on so many things about international affairs and regional politics. Now come to Bangladesh's point. What about your study about immediate past outgoing budget?
The budget is on the anvil now. It is being readied almost at the last point. Budget is a constitutional requirement. We have to place it to the National Assembly and have it approved. Otherwise, we can't spend any money, even for salaries or for constructions, development or revenue in the technical term. It has been a continuous process. This year, as well as the last few years, budgets have been different from other budgets. During Sheikh Hasina's from 2009 until now, 14 years, there has been growth budgets, expansionary budgets. More and more money is being pumped into the economy, consciously. Salaries is different thing, we have to. But big projects, including the big mega projects like Padma Bridge, Metro Rail, Chittagong Tunnel, long trains, Rupur Nuclear, etc., many things I can mention to you. So in that line, this budget is a budget which closes many of these mega projects at the last stage. Chittagong Tunnel will be completed. It's done almost. So this budget will see that it is completely implemented. This budget will see Padma Bridge completely implemented. This budget will see at least overwhelming part of the Metro Rail completely implemented. This budget will see first nuclear
Rupur power plant.
Yeah, Rupur power plant. The first burner will become active next year. This at the end of this year or early next year. It's very important for us. This budget will probably see a second satellite. Bangabandhu 1 is there already. Bangabandhu 2 may be launched during this budget. So this budget is a budget which will take us to a higher level in terms of our growth, in terms of stabilizing the economy, which is very important. And most important, perhaps I should mention, inflation. There is about 8% plus inflation at this moment, which causes to the low-income people much harm. Life becomes more expensive for them. We must make every measure. We must take every measure to see that their life is, eased. We have done many things. We are doing. We have to increase the supply in the market. That is the main problem. And so, in terms of supply, we are going to increase local production of food crops, of vegetables, of fruits, of fish, of poultry, meat, dairy, etc., etc. And those which we cannot produce sufficiently now, we have to import immediately, so that the market is awash, full with these products. If there are availability in the market, adequate amount of these important things, then inflation will have to come down.
It is learned from different sources, and you know very well that borrowing from the banking system is one of the major problems in Bangladesh, but it is increasing day by day. And it happens so at this very moment. So far, you understand that maybe in the next year it may cross the 1 lakh crores taka. And subsequently, it means supply money to the market. Subsequently, which means inflationary pressure. What is your analysis?
You see, if you are talking about government borrowing, we will not borrow for any luxurious projects, showy projects, projects which don't give us immediate return. If we borrow for agriculture, support to our agriculture to produce more food, if we borrow to support our literacy programs, ground level, primary education, elementary education, if we borrow to provide very rudimentary but very important health support to all our people in Bangladesh, in the rural areas particularly, if we borrow to build infrastructure, important bridges and culverts and roads all over the country, this will give us immediate return. I am not afraid of that. But if we borrow for showy things, lights and big halls and lots of fun and frolic, that kind of expenditure we will avoid. Our Prime Minister has been very clear. She said we shall have to economize. We shall have to avoid all unnecessary expenditure. Opochoy in Bangla. We cannot waste any resources. We shall protect every penny of our own resources as well as everything that we borrow from overseas, from large lenders like World Bank, Asian Development Bank. There are some bilateral lendings also, particularly from China. So, point is caution. We have to be very cautious. Look at the table every time. Finance Minister has a very difficult job. He has to watch the ticker, how it is moving. If he keeps his eyes and ears open, sees the tickers going along, I am not afraid. We have to borrow. Every country borrows. United States is the highest indebted country in this world at this moment. They borrow so much from China that I can't even give you the figures.
Mr. Minister, you talked in a very positive way everything, and you gave us a very vibrant picture. But it is also true that the middle class, upper middle class, they are going to be marginalized because of high prices, rising prices of essentials like, vegetables, rice, other items, including gas, petrol, electricity. So why all these things are going on? Because you are giving us very bright picture. But other than this, there is great sense of frustration everywhere.
People, low-income people again. Low-income people naturally suffer more. Inflation is the highest tax that is possible on a poor man. He does not know, but he is paying every day. Every government in the world, at this moment, think about England or United Kingdom. Their inflation rate is more than 10%. It's a very mature economy, very stable, not like ours, very stable. A huge, huge reserve in terms of assets. They are going to that. There are inflations in other countries also. Whole global situation is in a topsy-turvy situation, very uncertain. We can't say what will happen next. And income in European Union has fallen, they say. There is kind of a stagnation in their market. Monda in Bangla, which means depression sort of in their economy. So it affects us. We share the same world. We are not somebody separate. We are not an island separate from others. It is good for us, dangerous for us. Good, we can do trade, we can go and work, earn some money. Dangerous because the virus of inflation can come through trading, through imports. So there's an ongoing process. Again, the point important that I want to underline here is that we must keep our market safe, functional. Market remains functional, undisturbed, You go to market without disturbance, you come from the market without disturbance, very smooth. Over some time, after some time, definitely inflation must come down. We are working on that. We are selling some things at a lower price by trucks. That is a kind of subsidy. We are giving support to these things so that the poorer people can buy at a lower price. But we have to find the money for that subsidy also. So this is a continuous process. Government must address lower income people. That is the primary responsibility. I think if the government had not done these things, inflation could have been in 20. Some countries are in 20s, 30s also. We have kept it below 8, 9. We will come down more. At the end of this month, I hope some more improvements we'll see in the inflation market.
Well, thank you very much. We'll go for a short break again. We'll come to you. Viewers, we're going for a short break and come to you again very soon. Thank you. Viewers, welcome you again to our talk show Promise Bangladesh, sponsored by Crown Cement. We are having talks with Mr. A.Mannan, Minister for Planning Affairs, Government of the People's Republic of Bangladesh. Mr. Mannan, you touched almost everything, but the one question to you is that there is syndicatedism, syndicates. Now, how do you control the syndicate? Because you know the sovereignty lies in the government. I mean, people, and on behalf of the people, it exercised by the government.
Okay.
So we see there is syndicate. There is even you see items which is very essential, daily essentials, everything is under the sway of syndicate.
You see, there are visible syndicates, invisible syndicates. What was the meeting in Tokyo of G20? Is it not a syndicate of the rich countries? But it was visible. We saw them getting together and talking and making strategies. In the market, I have never seen myself. I look for syndicate. I don't see one. There is collusion. The word should be collusion, not syndicate. If there are fewer importers of any important item, like rice or edible oil, sugar, edible oil, if there are fewer importers, number few, oligarchy or what they say in economics, then there can be collusion among them. You don't raise price or you don't sell at a lower price, I won't sell at a lower price. We both will make more money. They don't have to sit down. Understanding is there among themselves. So if there are more importers, hundreds of importers, thousands of importers, if it would happen, probably this syndicate could not operate. But we don't have that kind of money. Only very rich, with a lot of money in their pockets, they can operate at that level. And they are always fewer in numbers. So likely they look for opportunities to make a few bucks quickly. It can be onions, it can be edible oil, it can be rice. For a government, any government in the world, of course ours also, our family government, our job is to remain alert. Remain alert and see that, you see, we have a great advantage. We have a big neighboring market, very near. By trucks, with 2 hours I can bring things from Calcutta. If it is onion, few hours time I can buy from Calcutta and bring it here. Or they can buy from us and take it there. There should be joint collaboration between our two countries. More meetings, more get-togethers, more policy coordination, so that if somebody is trying something tricky to make some money, we can immediately open doors for more imports. That will happen actually. If we had to import from far off countries, like Brazil or Argentina, something like that, then probably it will be more painful. Fortunately for rice, for sugar, for onions, next door neighbor, India, can be an immediate market for us. For them also there are occasions when they fall into trouble with their own prices, they can buy from us. So what I'm trying to say, collaboration, coordination, friendship, and more connection between the trading people of both countries traders, large traders. That is necessary.
You are talking about the policy matters, but our problem is that people understand because they are suffering. They are the sufferer. Suffering goes to them. They have the pains in hearts.
True.
So when you talk, even the Minister for Commerce, when he announced anything that they have to, immediately it goes up the prices. But people expect the government that they should handle the matter properly. And do you think there is so many mismanagement and not sufficient coordination between among the ministries or the corporations?
You see, I tell you one thing. Nobody is perfect. We are not perfect. We can't claim that. Talking about onion, very recent example. The other day, Commerce Minister said, if the price does not come down in 2-3 days' time, I will import. When he wanted to import, he had to coordinate with the Ministry of Agriculture also. Another ministry, because they are the producer. They have to see the interest of our growers also. So they have to sit down, do some correspondence. That takes time. I'm giving you as an example. If Commerce Minister had the freedom, okay, today, just now, click, I have to bring the things, probably he could have been faster. But that problem is probably anywhere in the world, because Commerce Minister sees the interest of the consumers. Agriculture Minister has to see the interest of the growers also. We grow a lot of onions in our country. I'm told there are a lot of thousands of tons of onions lying in various places. So coordination is a problem, I agree. We have to continuously improve it, and we have to use modern technologies, digital technologies, and we have to sit frequently. We don't remain away from each other. And our bureaucrats who handle these things, they should be always looking at the ticker. That price has gone up in Calcutta, price has gone up in Delhi, or price has fallen in Delhi, fallen in Mumbai. We should be able to buy. So these things can be done quickly, can be done faster, but not always done, I agree. So we have some problems from time to time.
It is very much interesting that whenever the Commerce Minister declares that they will import onion from Calcutta or any other countries, it is very much interesting to note that immediately prices come down.
Yes.
Not 100, it is 500 to 600. I watched it on the television and I enjoyed it. It means if the minister or the government take the decision firmly, yes, the result is there. And that is one of the main problems in Bangladesh. Most of the ministers from time to time, they don't feel the thing in such a manner which happened this time.
They are all my colleagues. They are very honorable people, highly experienced. They do their job as well as they can. I have no comments on their performance. I'm talking about the system, not individual ministers, not individual bureaucrats. System. Market you cannot see, invisible. Everybody knows in the world. Market operates by its own laws. No bureaucrat can play with the market laws. No minister even for that matter. All we have to do is keep the market free, operational. Don't make unnecessary policy decisions which can affect negatively. That is what we should do.
But hoarding is a big problem.
What is that?
Hoarding.
Hoarding or
it happens in case of onion.
Making stocks, keeping hidden.
Yeah.
I gave one small example last year. You know, in this country, Ramadan before, Roza, just before Roza, onions, chilies, what is called grams, which we make piyaz or these sort of things, always go up. Sugar go up, oil goes up. Why? Because traditionally there was shortage always in Ramadan. It is no more there, but it was always in this country. So I said jokingly that at the time of Ramadan, all our mothers and our wives become hoarders. Because every family, my wife buys extra 3 liters, extra 5 kgs. If your wife also does the same thing, 1-2 crore housewives doing the same, how much they can hoard. So that's a human psychology. Point again is to remain alert. There is Commerce Minister cannot sleep, I think. He always has to keep a look at the dashboard, and his bureaucrats also. And he has to see which are the rules and regulations hampering the free flow, free smooth movement of goods in the market. Say, trucks coming from North Bengal bringing potatoes or green chilies, they must be allowed to come fastest. Now that we have Bangabandhu Bridge, we have Padma Bridge here, so we have faster communications. We must see that earlier, you remember 20, 30 years before, somebody would put a bamboo across, make you stop in the name of this association, that association, raise some money. Those are gone now. Very helpful. We can make it even more smooth. Why? You know how? Now, should I say it? Some political elements resort to creating problems in the marketplace. So, Stitishilata in Bangla, which means stability. We need a stable society, a stable market, a stable government, a stable business community, a stable financial policy, a stable central bank. All of it being stable, coordination, music, things will be better than what it is. But if one element, particularly political people, in their short-term interest, want to play with it and disturb the balance, they can disturb the whole balance and bring miseries on the entire. It has happened in this country last time. In 2014, you remember what happened. I don't want to go into details. You may say that I am being selfish. No, fact. In 2014, election booths were torched, rail lines were uprooted, roads were closed in the name of Hartal or Gerao and these sort of things. These things not possible in a smoothly operating market, in a smoothly operating democratic system. That is very important.
Well, my last asking to you as a Minister for Planning Affairs, are you happy or optimistic about the things?
Happy myself?
Are you happy?
With my job?
So,
oh yes, I am very happy. I enjoy working. I am very happy at my age. I am fairly senior by now. I have been given the job of processing the projects of Bangladesh, all projects above Dhaka 50 crores, very huge projects. It's a great matter of great honor when I see that I have done a little bit for the metro rail, when I see metro rail smoothly going around with little children, school boys, school girls, having fun on a metro rail, I feel happy. When I see people coming from all over the country to see Padma Bridge, you know, they are so glad, they smile, they laugh, they enjoy. I feel happy. I am doing my bit of job.
okay, thank you very much, Mr. A.Mannan. Well, we'll meet again very soon and maybe on the same dais at the same time, maybe 1 week or 2 weeks, after 1 3 years. Thank you very much.
Mr. Sinha, thank you very much and thanks to SATV for this opportunity.
Well, viewers, we are having talks with Mr. A.Mannan, Minister for Planning, Government of the Peoples of Bangladesh. He talked on so many things, starting from the geopolitics, American new visa policy, to planning matters, Commerce Ministry Affairs, and daily essentials, and including the foreign reserves. And he explained the so many things to you in his own words analysis. And what is said and what is the reality, it is up to you to judge. I just convey the message to you on behalf of him. And thank you very much. We'll meet you again very soon. Okay.